They would try to turn the Hawaiian Islands into a Jeffrey Epstein island. I'm going to share the story of what I went through. They would try to turn the Hawaiian Islands into a Jeffrey Epstein island. I'm going to share the story of what I went through with a girlfriend on Kauai when I was living on the island of Kauai in Hawaii. I worked as a server, well, cook, server, cashier. I was like multiple things at this job. At the Moloa Sunrise juice bar in Moloa, Kauai, which is near Anahola. The boss who hired me there, who owns that restaurant, the juice bar, is Jeff. Can't think of his last name right now, but I bet I could find it. Anyway, he owns Moloa Sunrise Juice Bar, and Jeff is actually a part of a human trafficking, sex trafficking ring on the island of Kauai. Mark Zuckerberg is also a part of this same human trafficking, sex trafficking ring on Kauai, currently happening right now. She told me when I got hired on the job to watch out for Jeff. And she said, why? She said, if he ever asks you to come to his house for a paid massage, don't do it. She said, whatever you do, do not do it. It's not worth it. She's like, I would know. She told me this on my first day of training, and I was really like confused, like, wait, what? Like, because I was just like, I thought we're supposed to be training. I'm like, this has nothing to do with my training, but I could tell she was genuinely concerned about my well-being and safety working at the juice shop, so I had to be curious about where was this information coming from. She later told me how she was a slave. She was a trafficking slave in the ring on Kauai, and Jeff was the one abusing her. The reason how she got involved into the ring was because she's a massage therapist, and so that's her job, is giving massages. So when Jeff came to her at the smoothie shop telling her to come to his house to give him a paid massage, she just thought, oh, what a nice way to make extra money, I'll do it. Came to find out she unconsciously and was unaware that she was getting pulled into a sex trafficking, human trafficking ring on Kauai. She got abused in this ring for years, and she told me how she was scared for her life and she was doing everything she could to escape, but that there was nothing she could do to escape the ring living on the island because they were threatening her life and her safety, and they knew where she was all the time because it's a small island. So all she could do was try to protect the girls at my job and anybody else who was affiliated with Jeff, to try to keep all these women and young people and children away from him. It got so bad, her being a slave on this human trafficking ring on Kauai, that she fled the island to, like, you know, set herself free and start a new life. But like, that was the only way for her to be set free of it all, was to leave the island, because they were trafficking her and threatening her life. This is on the island of Kauai, and she told me this story back in like 2016, okay? This has been going on for years, human trafficking on the islands, but especially it was going on Kauai because of Mark Zuckerberg is one of the main people involved with this being a thing. The private beaches they own, this is where they transfer the women and the children on boat. The private beaches that nobody has access to except the people who own that property. And that's how they get away with it, because nobody sees anything going on the private beaches unless like you're on a boat or something, or you're hiking somewhere that has a view. But yeah, this is why I wanted to bring up my point about Maui and Lahaina, because I know Mark Zuckerberg and Oprah have something to do with all these human trafficking rings going on the Hawaiian Islands. Kauai was the first one I knew of, but now, Maui. I can't even tell you how many locals on Kauai back when I used to hitchhike, because hitchhiking was a thing, you know, on the island, and during that time too. I can't tell you how many people, how many locals in Kanaka would tell me, please don't do hitchhiking for the long term, or you're going to get trafficked on this island. You're going to get kidnapped, because they're like, we see it happen to so many women and like children going missing on this island. So they said, especially don't hitchhike at night. The locals would always tell me that don't hitchhike at night.